Hi guys, welcome to our channel. This is Django Coder, and today we are going to be talking about the very basic building block of all programming languages, presented in a very simple way that is easy to understand even for someone without any programming background. I have learned and taught several programming languages like the C family, which includes C, C++, C Sharp, Java, Python, PHP, HTML, JavaScript, and a lot more. And one thing I've come to discover is that they all follow the same basic structure that includes the variables, the types, the operators, input and output, conditional statements, loops, arrays, methods, classes, and then finally object-oriented programming. To explain what each of these mean, we're going to use a very simple analogy, and that is shopping. Here is our store. The program we are writing is going to be a shopping program. The same way you have that activity is shopping, to start a program, regardless of the language, you start by first creating that program and giving it a name. Here, the name of our program is going to be shopping. After naming our program, let's talk about how this shopping is going to happen. Okay. First, we need to figure out what kind of store we're going to. And this is going to depend on what we intend to buy. Maybe we want to get some food, then we should be going to a grocery store. Or we want to buy some clothes or bags or shoes, then we should be going to a clothing store. Or we might want to buy some ball, rackets, and stuff, then we should be going to the sports store. For any of these stores, there's going to be your input and output. Okay, the input is going to be your credit card, the money you're taking to the store, and you're going to pay that at the store, and the output is going to be whatever item you got. In a similar way, we need to decide what kind of program we want to write, which depends on what our input and output looks like. And that brings us to our next topic, variables and constants. The input and output of your program is going to be made up of variables and constants. Variables can be changed throughout the course of the program, while constants cannot be changed anywhere else in the program after you have declared them at the beginning of your program. Next, we're going to be talking about the different variable types that we have. In our shopping analogy, we said that if we are going to have the input as our credit card, which can qualify as a constant because your credit card can change at the store. Or if you're going with cash, then the cash will be a variable because, you can decide to give a $10 bill or a $5 bill at any point in time. The types are going to be the fruits, the clothes, the groceries, and all of that. Same way, in programming, our inputs and outputs are going to be of different types. We have them in three categories. There are the numeric types, which consist of the integers, the long, the float, and the double. And we have the text, which consists of the char and the strings. And finally, we have the logical types, which are the booleans, also known as bool. Integers and long are for whole numbers. The integer stores smaller whole numbers and long stores larger whole numbers. The float and the double are for decimal numbers. The float stores smaller decimal numbers of 6 to 7 decimal digits, while the double stores much larger decimal digits up to 15 decimal places. Char stores single alphabets, while strings stores alphabets as well as words and sentences. Bool are for storing true or false values, which are the results of conditional statements. This is a simple IDE. An IDE is an editor for writing programming languages. But because this tutorial is not about any specific programming language, we're not going to talk about the IDE. These are the different types that this our shopping program will be using. Each of these lines is known as variable declaration. The first part is the type, which must be typed exactly as it is without any typos. The next part is the name. This part can be anything you want it to be. The last part is the value that you assign to this variable. If we come to a shopping analogy, it's going to look like this. In a shopping trip where we have two people, Jack and Jill, they went to the store, a grocery store. Their variable declaration is going to look like fruit, Jack's fruit equal to apple. The type is of type fruit. And this particular fruit, they want to call it Jack's fruit. It's for Jack. Jack is the one that wants the apple. Okay, and the value is an apple. Next, let's say in that same store, they have a basketball. We call that sports. It's a sporting item. Sports. Jill's ball is equal to basketball. So you can see that these variable declarations for the actual shopping trip shows that this part is type, which is corresponding to our integers, our double, our chars, and our bool. The same way we have the fruit store, the sports store, the clothes store cannot come here and have apple. Okay, because apple is not a cloth. So if this is a cloth, you have to make sure that whatever you put here can be a blouse, or you can have pants, or you can have shoes. But it must be a clothing item. The same way you cannot have an int here and then over here you have a. You cannot do that. This place has to be an int as well. Some programming languages like Python, you don't necessarily need to specify the type. Just call it my int is equal to 2, and the compiler is going to know that this is an int. Okay, but for other programming languages like Java, C++, and C#, you have to specify the types. That will be all for this video. In our next video, we're going to be talking about operators, input and output, and conditional statements. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to like and subscribe, and more videos will be coming your way soon.